Hi, everyone, and welcome to my channel. I am Coach Sherry, and this is also my podcast, Real Talk with Coach Sherry. And I was on the fence on whether or not I was going to go live. I didn't get a chance to do any records for today, and I was like, maybe I'll just pass up and maybe I'll do a short for today, just go and do a remix from a pre recorded video. But then when I opened up my YouTube, the first person I saw was Slasher Chick. And, her video this evening was definitely speaking to me. And I appreciate it because it motivated me to, press record. And that's one of the things that she had said towards the end about I think it might have been Nick Nimmin or someone years ago when she was first starting her channel, and they said, you just need to press record. And of course, we know you have to do more than press record, but I said, let me just go ahead and press record. So here I am, and there you are. And for those of you that are here live, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to drop down in the chat if you can and say hello to me. Also, if you are here on the replay, I appreciate your support. Thank you so much. So, I wanted to talk about time flies, but do things really change? And I wanted to say that, every day is going by so fast. Oh my goodness. You look up and it's it's a new year. You look up, it's a new season, a new holiday. And the way the stores are set up now, you really get confused because I was looking at another content creator today, and she was, doing a fall haul for clothes. Her name is oh, I can't recall her name right now, but I enjoy her hauls. And she was just saying, is this Christmas in July? Because even though we are still in the summer and we're just in August, you are starting to see the fall and winter things for those holidays. And I don't understand why stores are doing that. They're not allowing us to just enjoy the moment because they're always trying to push us closer to the next thing. And maybe that's why time is flying. I don't know, but time flies for sure. And if you are getting older or getting up there and you start looking back on things that you had done in your life, you'll also notice that time flies. It just still amazes me that I can say something about something that happened 30 years ago and I'm like, "Wait, I was grown 30 years ago? Hold on." And it's just crazy, to think about it because I do definitely feel so young and vibrant still. I know I still have a lot to go. I'm halfway done, but I'm still have a lot to do. And so my daughters, I went and picked them up from the airport today. They went to St. Thomas, and when it was my daughters and one of their dear friends that I picked up from the airport, and their friend, I call her my fairy goddaughter. They have been good friends. My oldest, or my center child, I should say, my oldest daughter. I have three. My son is the oldest, but the oldest of the two girls, her best friend, I call her my fairy goddaughter because she's such a wonderful young lady. She actually is one of five. She has four other sisters, and they all are beautiful inside and out. And she went with them, and then one of my youngest daughter's friends went as well. And I see Tuber Chat just came in. Thank you for being here. And also, Tuber Chat, I noticed that you shared my video that I did on Forge Greensboro, and I appreciate that. I loved that place. Oh my goodness. That was my first time ever going there. And I was blown away by all the things that can be done. Whether you are a novice or an expert, you can go in there and be so creative and innovative. And I appreciate you for sharing this out too. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's good to see you. I hope things are going well for you in Canada. Um, and I enjoyed seeing the videos from before. I know Vern, her birthday is in May, and she went there, and I just caught I think it was a short that she had, at Niagara Falls, and it looked like you all had a great time for sure. Thank you for being here, though. I appreciate you. So, I was talking with my daughters, and so it was four of them all together that went on this trip to St. Thomas. And, my daughters, they like to travel quite a bit. My son, not so much. He's the type that is like, if he's been one place, he feels like, I've seen it all. And my husband's in that same mindset, mind frame. So I get it. But my daughters are like me, where they just like to jet set and go here, there, and everywhere. And it was just interesting hearing them talk, because I was like, oh my goodness, I when I was your age, a group of friends and I went to Jamaica. We went to Ocho Rios, and when we went, we had a ball. We really did. However, I found that my daughters, I mean, I know times have changed in this way with the cost of things, but they spent so much money on even just the taxis. And we never spent money like that on taxis. Somehow we were able to meet people that had vehicles or something that was able to take us. So it was just really interesting having that conversation. And I ended up calling one of my friends that I went to Jamaica with back in the day, and so her and I were talking with them back and forth about our experience, their experience. And coming to find out that time flies, but things don't really change. And some of the things that change happens maybe because of the way that my daughters grew up. They grew up in more of the southern states, and so they didn't have to keep their head on a swivel. So some things that I may have been more courageous with, they are less courageous. Just little things like that. But it's like, wow, things have not really changed. And so seeing them and hearing their stories just really takes me to places. Do you have those same feelings or those thoughts like, wow, I- you're doing something that I did. It feels like it wasn't that long ago, but it really was. When I did the things that they're doing, my children were nowhere in sight. I didn't even know if I was going to have kids. I wasn't married, and so now fast forward 30 plus years later, and here they are rehashing and sharing things that they're doing that is almost identical to what the things I was doing. And I just think that that's interesting how time kind of recycles itself, and that's basically what it is. It recycles. So nothing under the moon, under the sun, under the stars is new. Everything has been done already. You live long enough, you'll start to see those things come to pass. And so, as a child, when your parents or whoever your caregiver is, when they say to you, I've done that, been there, done that, they really have been there, done that. And I think it's just really sharing those stories and being able to talk about them. A lot of people don't communicate. You think that, oh, this person, they just they just arrived here. They were born and then now they're grown. No, they had a whole life in between birth and now. And what was that life like? So I see TWP Popcorn is in the building. What's up? As well as Lisa J Stocks. Thanks for stopping through. I appreciate you all. Thanks for the thumbs up as well, and everyone is saying hi to one another. That is great. This YouTube journey is so interesting. And um, another content creator was actually Slasher Chick, and I have to respond because there was a video, and I don't know if you all are noticing that older videos from content creators are being recommended, whether you are connected to them or not. They are being recommended. And I always look to see when was that video recorded. And so sometimes it could be that day, it could be the day before, but sometimes it's years ago. It could be 5 years ago. Well, there was a video of mine from 9 years ago, and as many of you know, I have celebrated my sweet 16 of having my YouTube channel, not being a content creator, but having my YouTube channel. I have not been a serious content creator. I want to say it's been about 4.5 years, about 4 years. but I've had my channel for 16 years. And I know a lot of people that view videos and such are just that. They are viewers, they are subscribers, and they support the channels, but they aren't necessarily posting anything on their channel. And that's another great thing about YouTube. We all have that same opportunity. We all have this same platform where we can either look and create or just create. And so for a while, many years, I would just look. And that's because I couldn't figure out how to post videos. Back then, it wasn't about recording on your phone and then uploading it onto YouTube. You had to do it from your computer. So I would do videos every now and again, but I would always have to figure it out again how to upload it to YouTube. For some reason, that was so hard for me. And so I didn't do it on a consistent basis. And maybe if I did, it would have been easier, but I just would do it periodically. And so Slasher Chick was saying, she got recommended this video. She put a comment underneath it. That's how I knew which video it was. And it was from 9 years ago. And I had mentioned this before, but I was part of a team and we had a blog sports talk radio show called Talk to Me Sports Radio. And it was on, it was, it was it was not like YouTube. It was a podcast format, but it was on blog radio. And there were producers of it, and they had to find people that would host a time slot. And so my time slot was Sunday nights at, I believe my slot was from 9 to 10 p.m. And, or maybe it was 8 to 9. It was definitely after late in the evening on Sundays. And it was every Sunday. And, I had to do it via my laptop because I had a whole dashboard. Um, because it was a blog talk radio show, we also had commercials. So I had to play the commercials a certain amount of times throughout my show. I would always have, not always, but often I would have a guest on there, and my platform was about life after sports. So I would have people that played sports in, college as well as professional. And I would talk to them about what they were doing after the lights went out, after they were no longer playing in that sport. What was the career path? How did sports help them? What kind of businesses did they have? And I really, really enjoyed it a lot. I got callers that would call in. So that's why I had to be by my laptop, because it was the whole dashboard. I can filter the calls, and it was a lot. It was pretty cool. It taught me a lot for sure. I had about 200 episodes before I decided I couldn't do it anymore. And one of the reasons why is because my children were really involved in AAU sports. And for those of you that know AAU sports, you travel. And, a lot of times you don't get back until Sunday night. And so I was always so stressed out Sunday night on our way back, especially if we were coming back later than expected, because I had to get to my laptop to do the time slot. And this was, again, this video was done 9 years ago. So this was, 9, 10 years ago. And back then you didn't have, my phone wasn't the same with my computer. It was just a lot going on. So I had to be home, and it just started to become too much. So after my 200th episode, I said, I won't be able to do it. And also I had been kind of more engaged in social media with Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at that time, LinkedIn a little bit. And I still had my YouTube channel where I was kind of playing double dutch with it, not really taking it serious. And I was just like, there's other ways that I can get the content out. But what I would do, and was trying to do more of, is summarize my interviews on YouTube, kind of giving an overview of what the guest was talking to me about. And it was really cool because I actually would have even like scouts and coaches from overseas that coached basketball leagues international. I had them on a couple of times, and that was really cool. But the thing too with it being on that type of platform, it didn't give you that flexibility. Like with YouTube, I'm here now. It's 11:26 p.m. Eastern Standard Time versus, I don't just have a time slot. And I know, to take YouTube seriously, you have to be consistent. Being consistent would also mean having designated times of when you will go on, which is ideal because that's how your tribe finds you. That's how the people that are interested in what you do, they can know, oh, okay, Coach Sherry's going on at 6 p.m. on Wednesdays or whatever. But y'all, I have so much structure in my day-to-day life, although I have a lot of flexibility. But a lot of things I do has relatively is relatively structured, until with this I need to have it to be even more flexible. So I definitely need to be more consistent, and I am actually, but it's just the times that I go on are random. But again, with the blog radio, you have to, your time slot is your time slot. You can come on late if you want to, but you have to get off when your time is up. So you want to, maximize your time and be on there the whole time. So this video from 9 years ago, it is still relevant, which is so remarkable. And that's something that Slasher Chick had mentioned, how it still pertains to now. And that's the beauty of evergreen content. And so, yes, I can't even believe that that video was 9 years ago. So time flies. However, the content that I was talking about, the things I was talking about, it didn't change. It's still the same. It's still relevant. And I think that's going to be a really strong staple. And if you've heard me say this before, it's because I mean it from the bottom of my heart, that you have to um, try and do things that is not going to be one and done. The information that you share. Hello to you. Thank you for being here. Thank you. The things that you share, that it should not, look to see if you can do things that are going to carry someone through. Information is priceless. And and so you definitely want to show value in the things that you are sharing, because you are informing people about things. And since it is priceless, then make it valuable. And that's what I try to do on my channel, so that as time continues to fly by, things don't really change. A lot of things will change. People will change, scenery will change, but what you're saying, the things you put out there, your experiences may not change as much. And that's one thing I know, even like with Tuber Chat, the way that he does his channel and the support that he provides all channels, large, small, everything in between, it has stayed consistent for all these years. I think I've been connected with Tuber Chat probably for let me see, at least 3 years. you know and with that, it's the same. Like, it's one of those, you go to someone's home and their home feels comfortable, and you walk in and you feel very welcomed. And that's how it is when I go into Tuber Chat's lives. It's new people that come to the party, so those are the things. The time is flying because more people have connected with him. So they are now, in the building too. They're invited to the party, but things don't change in terms of how I feel when I'm there. And so, whenever you're doing anything, try to have that type of consistency where people can expect great things from you, but they know that you're tried and true. And so, just talking to my daughters and their friend, and listening to them talk about the Caribbean and their experience and all of that, I was just like, oh my goodness, this is so nostalgic for me. And I just really, can't believe it has been that long. But there's a lot of things that we do, and it feels like that. I know working with people that are in the workforce, and they have been with their one type of job, one company, maybe even working in the same position for 20, 25 years. They look up and they can't believe it. Like, what? It's been 25 years. I had wanted to leave here years ago. When I started here, my intentions were not to be here that long. And, there was a prison actually in Virginia, and it was in it starts with the letter B. I can't recall the name of it, but it's a southern part of Virginia, and it was closing. The Whoever heard of a prison correctional facility closing? And so part of what I do is called rapid response, and so companies that have 100 or more employees that are closing, I'll go in and do training for them to help the employees with their next step, because that's a lot of people to let go of at once. And so with this correctional facility, it was over 300 employees, and it was the warden, nurses, mechanics, it was the, what are they called, correction officers, it was counselors, it was all the staff of the whole entire facility that were being let go because they were closing it down. And you know they all were sitting in the room. I had to do 3 different shifts because they had different schedules. And everyone was scared. All of a sudden, the job that they have had their whole professional career was no more. And it wasn't like there was another correctional facility nearby where, okay, well, I'll just apply here and get this job. They had to go into a whole new industry, and they were afraid. And a lot of times, as time goes by, some things do change. And that was the change for them, where, oh my goodness, all this time I knew I've been here for years, but I haven't even realized it was this long. Okay, I did think I was going to retire here, or I only plan to be here long enough to earn money so I can go back to school. But now this is 15 years later. I only was here until I raised my children, but that was 25 years ago. I was only going to be here for a short time, and that was 10 years ago. It was a lot of stories like that, and the uncertainty. People had fear of moving forward. They got stuck. So as time is flying and things are changing, are you changing? you know or are you stuck in nostalgia and can't move beyond the 90s or the 80s? I know there's a lot of decades that have been so remarkable for us, be it the music, the way people dressed, or whatever. But we have to let it go. And how are we moving forward? How are we changing? Being able to pivot, keeping our head on a swivel, always looking to see if where you're at is still appropriate. As time goes by, you want to see, like, well, where am I with my career? Is this where I want to be? And every year do an audit of your career to see if this is the right thing. Do an audit with your relationships, the friends that you have. When you are in high school, you have a certain set of friends. When you get to college or outside of high school, you have another set. When you get married, you have another set. And it's not to say that you're letting go of the others. It's just that you're at different stages of your life, a different season, and time is flying by, and everyone is not flying along with you. You'll find that in life, that sometimes you're flying a little faster than the ones that are around you, and that's okay. And being okay with that is half the battle. Some people aren't okay with that. They start to feel like, wait, maybe I need to slow down, or I'm not sure if I should go. They won't be able to go too. I remember when I went to Atlanta. This was a year before I got married, and the team that my husband, who was my fiance at that time, was on, they were playing the Falcons. And I remember my best friend, one of my best friends, her brother was going to college in Atlanta at the time, and he lived in a townhouse, and I think it might have been 4 of them that lived there. And I said to him, do you want to come with me to the game on Sunday? And he was like, no, first I asked him, have you ever been to a Falcons game? Even though my husband didn't play for the Falcons, but we're in Atlanta, so we're going to the Falcons stadium, and you can go to the game, whatever. And he said no. And he said, I've never been to an NFL game before. And I said, okay, well, I have a ticket. If you want to come with me, you want to come. And he was like, well, do you think you can get tickets for my friends? And I said, no. I have one extra ticket. That's what, I have my ticket and then the ticket for you. And he was like, well, if they can't come, then no, never mind. I don't want to go. And I said, wait, what? You don't want to have this experience because your friends, I'm sure your friends would understand. I don't even know them. I just met them. Why would I have a ticket for them? And he really couldn't understand that. He was like, no, almost like he didn't want to leave his friends behind. But I said, this is an experience. And I'm sure if they had that opportunity, they would take it. So I'm going to ask you all, would you have taken that? If you had someone that can take you to have this type of experience that you've never had before, that you enjoy, and because your friends couldn't come too, would you still go? Because I would. I really would. I would. And if I have good friends, if they're truly my friends, they would want me to. And if they had that opportunity, I would want them to. So it was kind of interesting to me. Well, it was very interesting to me that he really didn't come. And um, you know, anybody can go to a football game at any time, yes. But if I'm saying, you can come with me, you can sit in the area with the family, you can come down with me to, where they come out, and you can meet some players if you want or whatever. That's an experience that not everyone gets. And sometimes you have those once in a lifetime opportunities. Like I know up in New York with the Giants, it's actually in New Jersey. The New York Giants, actually, they play in New Jersey, but you can't buy a ticket. Those tickets are all season passes. The only way you can get one is if you are in someone's will, because people will their tickets to people, or if you work for a company that has like a skybox, or if you know a player. That's really the only way that you're going to go to a New York Giants game. So if you ever have a chance to go to one of those, definitely go for sure. Go into Giants Stadium, and they have a new stadium now, which is remarkable. So definitely check them out. And just wanted to come on here almost like a Saturday social. I see I have a couple of new people in the chat. GT Beck One, thank you for being here. And also Tuber Chat, Connect and Grow. TWP Popcorn, is great seeing you again. What's popping with you? Lisa J Stocks, I appreciate you for stopping through. And for all of you that are listening in and just could not get to the comment section, I appreciate you again for being here. And if you're new to this channel, I know GT Beck One is new. I just want to say that all are welcome. And this channel is about workforce development, career readiness, entrepreneurship, real life, real issues, and real talk. And, listen, I always try to have you walk away with something, something of value. This is just a Saturday social, so we're just kind of chopping it up. I just wanted to talk about time flying, but do things change? And some things do, some things don't. But at the same time, as we continue to grow and evolve, we have to let some things go, but we need to continue to grow as we do so. And I hope that you were able to catch a nugget from that, and agree in agreement and are in agreement with it. If you have young children, teach them that as well, that you know this is all great, but you're going to do even better things. This is a great friend, but you're going to meet even more friends. Not saying you have to let that friend go, but you're going to meet even better people. I know a lot of people have a hard time letting go and moving forward, just like that example I gave you with the young man that didn't want to go to the game with me. What? Because his friends didn't have a ticket. But and if you know people that play professional sports and you're wondering, like, man, why don't they just give me a ticket? Let me tell you, they have to pay for those tickets too. Even though they get them, they have to pay for them. They're not free. And I think a lot of people don't realize that, and they just think, oh, they just should just give us all tickets. And unless, I know we used to give out like 50 tickets for New Orleans Saints games through our nonprofit for the youth in the community. But, that was something that we did. That was part of our nonprofit. And we enjoyed it. That was our pleasure. But there's just people that are just like, y'all, can you just give me? And it's like, what? You realize that, that's going to cost? And there's some people that don't mind just doing that, but we were very frugal, and it definitely paid off to be like that. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about time flying. And this year alone, I think to me, 2024 has been the fastest year yet. I have never experienced a year to go by this fast. We are already in the middle of August, and it's just remarkable. And I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to slow down enough to figure out why am I experiencing this year this much, like this fast. It's making me move faster too. I feel like all the projects I have going on are, the time is rolling like, oh, it happened, it's over, now we're on to the next. Or, it happened, it's over, we're debriefing, we're planning for the next one. It's interesting. Someone had reached out to me for sponsorship for something that's going to happen on Monday. And I'm like, dude, you supposed to do that a year ago. At least start the planning process, or 6 months at the latest, but not the few days before. Are you mad? So, we have to plan out even that much more because time is flying, and we still want to produce our best. And the only way we can do that is to plan ahead, so as time is flying and do things change, they do. And so you have to make sure that you're changing and doing your best as time is flying. You can't let that be an excuse like, oh, time flew and, it just rolled up on me. No, you still need to plan things out. And that's how things are going to work out better for you, for all of us. So I'm talking to myself now for sure when I say that. But I do try my best to plan ahead. So, everyone, I wanted to come on here. I did press record, and that's all I have for you today. I will be back tomorrow. Not sure if I'm going to be out somewhere on location or if I'm going to do a podcast. Either way, it's been my pleasure. Thanks for tuning in. I am Coach Sherry.